and welcome to Animals Labs. This is the final piece of our 5-part series containing incarnate classes and early and late game builds, and we're here with my personal favourite class, which is the Void Watcher. I've gone for an all common piece here, so hopefully you can get this early on. This is how I feel it defines the class. It's all about zombies. There are some other fun things that you can do, and I'll show you late game build that does some similar fun things, but this one is about making zombies, using the zombies to do damage to your enemy, controlling where your enemy is placed because their movement is limited by zombies, that kind of thing. In this particular one, we've gone for the mind piece to be Hazmat, which is a 5-turn cooldown. It's pretty long. Create a zombie on target space, so any space within your range. Other zombies within the area gain thorns. Thorns means when they deal damage, when they take damage, they deal damage back. And it's part of this piece is part of the 75% damage return build that you can have if you include insolence from the judge. But this is an easy way to, you can always place this zombie if you need it and always have a blocker available to you. Second piece is the body piece. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, so as you can see, zombie creation is on quite a long cooldown. Create zombie in front of target enemy for 2 turns. Zombies, whenever they're attacked, they counter attack. So you start hitting, you make a zombie, they get hit, they counter attack. This is good all the way through the game. Another zombie can be made perfect. Lastly, there are a few options in this, and I thought about adding Covenant, which you can get early on as well, where you're able to kill, if you kill a zombie, kill a creature, you make a zombie. In the end, I went with Junk Keep. Attack target enemy, and your minions within 4 gain Brave, which is increased. It basically boosts and means they do extra damage. And you can do anything. So you could set both of your mind and body up and then hit off Brave. If you have anyone else in the game making zombies for some reason, they'll gain this effect. It's pretty simple. It's all commons. Again, if you wanted to straight upgrade it, potentially you could add Covenant. You'd have to try and get some extra damage or set it up so that the enemy's on real low life, because this doesn't hit very hard, and then you make another zombie and you go for a full out zombie build. Plus they look amazing. Look at the Egyptian style dog build. This is why I love them so much. We're here now in the hall, and this is my big Void Watcher of choice. If you could have a couple of these guys, you can just wreck levels. It begins with possibly the most defining ability of the class. Legendary, hard to get, understandable, but it pretty much turns on the whole class. I feel like you almost need one to be able to use half of their Eternals. Create 1 zombie on each of the cardinal presences in each direction, and zombies gain giant for 2 turns. So this means that you make potentially 4 zombies, and 4 is a magic number. You'll see in a minute why. And they gain giant, which increases their health, so they live a little bit longer. They still decay, but they live just a tiny bit longer, and they increase their range for 1 turn, which means you can hit the diagonals on the basic sword variant zombies, which is a big deal. Note the cooldown is 5 on this, so it's quite a long turn, and this leads into this additional ability. Enemies in your presence gain Vamp, which means they heal for the damage they do, and Surge, which increases their speed, so they go quicker, and they for 2 turns, and they move 1 extra square, I believe, and then take an extra turn. So you can lead. Didn't know you could pull those in and out. That's cool. You can pull them out and have a big look at them. The extra turn means that the 5-turn cooldown off here goes down, and this is a 5-turn cooldown, but it's essentially a 4-turn cooldown. So you do Prophecy, click on that, would have a 4-turn cooldown. You do Seeker, which would then have take an additional turn, which means this is up every 3 turns. So your zombies can almost be up permanently because of this particular combo. I've gone with Hunger as the final ability on here. Max target enemy instill 10% of their HP equals to 10% of your HP. So this is like, I have quite a medium-ish, I'd say medium-high HP pool. But with this, I can have a huge HP pool over the course of, a couple of hits, which makes me tankier, keeps me alive. If I wanted to go full down the tree, we can go on to summoning, which I'll show in just a second. absolute late game piece, summoning. This is create a zombie all the time, always pushing a zombie forward. This is going to go nicely with your prophecy, which will allow you to continuously make additional zombies. These are the Eternals that go really well with the Void Watchers. Guts for Glory, I'll highlight out. Your zombies reflect 30% of the damage you take. If you remember that they're taking 30% from Thorns if you build them with that build, an additional 30% of your defense from Insolence, plus this. I don't know quite how they stack together, but you can see that's quite a large amount of damage that's going back at the enemy potentially. You have Reach Through the Breach. What a name. I love this piece. This is probably my favourite, particularly artwork. I wish I could get that up big and show it, like, have a look at this. But zombies you create have your soul. That means they have a ranged attack. They're no longer limited to being just next to the enemy. They have a full-on ranged attack. It gives you a bit more reliability on their AI as well. They don't tend to wander off just as much because there's almost always an enemy in range if you have the right sets of abilities. Okay, so in the middle of the screen here, you can see one of the last Eternals I love putting on this build is whenever your minions attack, they apply heavy. Heavy is minus 25% speed, so like initiative gain, and one less movement speed. If you start adding this to that Titan in one of the previous episodes, you can see they're all locked down, they're really slow, they can't get away from you. It's just a perfect combination of abilities. There is one more Eternal which I'll shout out, but I don't actually have a copy of it. Maybe I'll try and get it and add it to the end of the film. Is Misery Loves Company. So it basically does you a bit of damage in order to allow you to do more damage with your abilities. When you're doing max percent HP, it triggers really well with hunger, and it has an awesome artwork as well. I just love the Void Watchers artwork. But that's the last one of our series of incarnates. Hopefully I'll try and get someone on. We'll do a state of the game video where we can discuss what our views on some of the classes are together, hopefully. But until next time, I ask that you like and subscribe, and thank you from Animals Labs. Take care.